Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Questions I always ask everyone on this. Give us your take and your views on British basketball in this country and BBL and WBBL. What's your view? Things that you think are working and things that you think they need to work on.
Okay. BBL, I don't think is out there enough. I don't think it's out there enough. If you're into basketball, you see it, but I don't think it's out there enough to encourage other people that may be on the fence or that just don't know about it. I don't think it's out there enough. And I think BBL, that, you know, they're doing their thing with their promotions, but I think everybody else needs to do it, you know. And I think that really I mean, for WBBL, I mean, I've been to a couple of away games, and you know, there's no music, you know, the court's not set up. And I just think this is, I mean, I went one year to a game and they were playing in looked like a school hall with no visual score clock or scoreboard, and they had to shout out the score so that the 3 or 4 spectators were there could know the score.
And this is a professional game, a league as well.
And this is what I was trying to say, like, that if you're trying to improve, you know, the spectators or the profile of the women's game, they're the sort of things that need to be squashed. You know, do things properly, have a standard.
And they're the little things as well. They're not like the big things. It's little things like that, clocks, scoreboard. Yeah. They shouldn't even be an issue. They should have been there. One of the first things that should be done.
Yeah. Away. And it was just like, okay, let's play this game and get it over and done with. There was no, you know, for a WBBL team to do what we do, halftime shows, cheerleaders coming out in the quarters, you know, music, you know, a host, giveaways, you know, shooting competitions, to turn up to a game like that. I was expecting to see, you know, this team had like quite a high profile name, and you turn up and you're playing in the school hall, and you know, or we went to another place, you couldn't get a drink anywhere, or you know, nothing was open, and you know, and that they were playing just before a BBL game, a high profile BBL game, and there was nothing, you know, and you sort of turn around thinking, come on guys,
come on man, it's ridiculous. And embarrassing. Even as a fan, that's embarrassing. Like, just as a fan, not even just as an owner. Like, you think as a fan, you think like, well, this is professional league, and I can't find nowhere to get some food, or there's no concession stand, there's no man, at least one person with a hot dog stand or something, like
nothing. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think annoys me, and I can't see how it didn't annoy the players of the home team. You know, I think it just didn't matter to them anymore, and I think that's when it becomes sad, because if you're not that bothered about your home games, you know, if you don't get hyped and, you know, ready for your home games, then what games can you get hyped for?
I don't know if they maybe, I don't know if I went there, but they might have been bothered at once, but they probably just thought to themselves, you know what?
True.
What else could I do now? You know what I mean? I think, like you said, I think my issue, I've always said it again in all my shows, someone might put it again in the comments, is marketing. Again, I think they're not effective enough. They're not in the right places. They're not putting money in marketing in the right places. It's like they put a lot of stuff on the internet. But how many people are going to go on their phone or go on the internet and they go, oh, I'm going to search the BBL to see if they don't even know if it exists. They need something to give everyone that notification that it exists. And
that's the point.
It's not out there enough. And the issue as well is the TV deal is another issue as well. Like they got no TV deal. I heard a story about the TV deal. They had one in place, but then it's one of those off-camera discussions, isn't it? But
yeah.
I've heard stories about what happened with the TV deal. We actually had one, but it's sad, man. Like we was mentioning as well, someone like Justin, 2-time MVP from Great Britain. You would have thought they would have just blasted that in everyone's face, and it was just like nothing about it.
Yeah, no, it's sad. I don't think the teams do it enough, and I think the supporters need to do it, and the players need to get on the advertising. You know, advertise your home games at least.
Exactly. But then I always ask them, why is it what's not motivating them to advertise the players? Because it's like, okay, most of them get paid that little check and then none. There should be something like endorsements or sponsors, something to give players more. Like that's the whole reason we came to see the players. Like, give them something more.
Yeah, I mean, like when I've done the games up at Ipswich, you know, their players are always on it, you know, advertising their home games, and they get a decent crowd up there, to be fair to them. They make a lot of noise. Nick Drain's got them sort of well drilled, but that's something that's, you can't just, you know, create a club and that happens. You need to drill that into your players from when they're juniors right the way through, and he's done that up there, and I think that's what needs to happen from now on with clubs, you know, as juniors.
Set an example as well, like push it up. It's hard as well it's a hard thing to dictate, because I spoke with Baller's Voice, and we was talking about, you know, some places they just naturally got great fans. Like Manchester's really good for that. I've been to Manchester, and their fans are their stadium, even though it might be a small stadium, but it's packed out. You know, it's a packed out fan. So there is a lot of support there, but they need a lot more. Teams like that should get a lot more exposure as well. Someone said something. Well,
I went up to Hemel. I watched Lee Hodges play up Hemel. I think it was beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And they've got a really good crowd up there. You know, loads of people packed on both sides. The atmosphere is quality. You know, they've got it just right up there. You know, food and drinks available. They've got replica shirts. You know, basketballs you can buy. It's just a good setup up in Hemel. You know, and they do quite well in the league as well. I think they're in the top three teams in Division 1.
They do quite well. And there are some teams that do well, and I wish other teams adapted that. Like Bristol's really good, and Plymouth is really good. But considering Plymouth, they're the only professional team in Plymouth, so they're doing good with that at the moment. So Plymouth's a really good atmosphere. But the other teams, it saddens me that they're not as big. But hopefully they pick it up in the long run.
Hopefully,
that's what I mean.
Hopefully.
I'm gonna pray for them, boy. All right. We'll get into this.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.